are not objecting at all.
I have a hard time remembering things, and maybe it's just because I'm getting older, or it's because I'm a mother, or maybe it's because I'm pregnant, but I can barely remember what I've had for breakfast, much less what I've done yesterday. So I read with interest this article in New York Times, and it had to do with the aging brain and how to train the aging brain. And basically what they say is brains in middle age can get easily distracted. And I think all of us know, again, that we do one thing, and then we leave it, and then we go to something else, and we've forgotten what we've done before. And the question arises, can you train a brain? Can you take an old brain or middle-aged brain to school? And what they've realized is that scientists are looking deeper and deeper into this. And one of the things that they recommended is that one gets through middle age, they actually do a better job of looking at the big picture. And they find that brain connections can, in fact, be in good condition, and there are ways to develop the brain more and allow it to grow, as opposed to letting neurons die as one gets to middle age and then gets older. And what they do recommend is, in fact, getting the brain in tune and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And what they say is try to do things that nourish your brain. So whether it's learning a new foreign language or even walking a different way, but things that actually push you out of your comfort zone and help you to critically reflect on the assumptions you've acquired over time are the best ways to actually develop your brain when you're in middle age.
When you have children, you are always distracted. And it's okay.
But I don't think it gets any better.
No, it gets better once you get to when they are out of the house.
Okay.
That's when you have your brain totally to yourself. That's when you want to make sure you manipulate it, mold it to go into different directions. For instance, they say after 50, you should have a hobby. You must have a hobby and your hobby should be good skill, and it's not something that you just touch things and say, oh, that's my hobby. No, you need to create some expertise in that, and that distracts you.
So do you have a hobby?
Oh, yes, I do. Right here, this is what I do for a hobby. My business is construction. So to me, this has always been extremely good, but that doesn't mean I'm not distracted. I'm very distracted. And you're right, sometimes it's very hard to remember some of the things that happen during the day. And I guess that's why people pick up golf, people pick up poker, people pick up bridge and so many other games, because they want to have that interest.
I think this is fascinating, and I certainly will now think about doing something a little bit different. Maybe I'll have to pick up ballroom dancing or something I've never done before.
That'd be, by the way, that's very good for exercise too, And folks, last week, all the girls were talking about Barbie dolls. Mattel is celebrating 50 years in the business, particularly of Barbie dolls. This is something that they made at the exhibition and sold it for the charity purposes.
They're not Barbie.
Yeah, they're not in the burqa Barbies. Actually, a company up in Indonesia started that in year 2002, year 2003. Emirates, they also started it. But the interesting point in all of this is Saudi Arabia in 2003 banned Mattel dolls. This is what they said: revealing clothes and shameful postures, accessories, and tools are a symbol of decadence to the perverted West. So they banned it. But here's my question. Children are curious. When they play with the dolls, they change their clothes. Burqa or no burqa, they're going to see they're going to see the doll naked. Is that what they're trying to avoid? But in the end, of course, Mattel, now being in the business of Latina dolls, black dolls, and they're even coming up with a sari-clad doll, they certainly are itching to get into the burqa-clad dolls, because that's a great population waiting for a burqa Barbie.
Well, I actually have pretty strong feelings about Barbie, and again, I support Saudi Arabia in banning them, because I think for other reasons, young girls look at the Barbie doll and they think that that's the model of beauty that they want to espouse, and I think it's a very unrealistic model of beauty. So I actually don't feel strongly about having girls play Barbies, regardless whether they wear burqas or not.
Well, you certainly want to have a doll that you aspire to be. Not that you will ever make it to be. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel all this brouhaha about Barbie being, making girls think less of themselves. I don't believe in that.
Well, this is a new year, and the new year is typically a time for people to atone for all the overindulgence that they have done over the holiday. And believe it or not, nearly half of Americans actually say that they're going to either join a gym or diet as one of their New Year resolutions. And I think one word to our viewers is beware of dubious diets. In fact, there's a very fascinating history when it comes to diets. And it says, and according to this particular article in Time magazine, it says William the Conqueror, after becoming too fat to ride on his horse, decided to do an alcohol-only diet, and of course he fell to his death after an alcoholic binge and died as a result of that particular diet. And then they say in 1829 there was a minister by the last name Graham who created a cracker called the Graham cracker and also created a diet, a vegetarian diet called the Graham diet, which was a cure not only for obesity but also for masturbation. They also said that there was a casket maker named William Banting who actually came up with the first low-carb diet and made that concept very popular. And then there was a nutritionist in 1903 named Horace Fletcher who came out with, get this, the spitting out diet. So he recommended chewing your food 32 times and then spitting it out. Doesn't sound like a very pleasant thing to do. And then finally there's George Harrop, who pioneered the skim milk and bananas only diet. Again, not one I think that's too pleasant. And we certainly have heard of a lot more that have had a little bit more credibility in recent years, like the Atkins diet and the South Beach diet. Although there's a couple I still probably wouldn't recommend. One includes the cabbage soup diet, which they say will guarantee for you to lose about 10 pounds, but I think you'll probably be passing a lot of gas in the process. And then there's also the lemonade diet, which requires you to live for at least 10 days on lemon juice, maple syrup, red pepper, and hot water. And that is also guaranteed for you to lose weight. I think the take-home message here is, folks, if you are one of those people that decide that you want to be on a diet, probably want to think about a smart diet. And again, all the old things we talk about, cut back on the fat, make it higher protein, low carbohydrates, and get out and exercise makes a lot more sense than doing one of these diets.
Of course, Arthur's not from India, so he forgot one diet that I heard long ago, which was the widowers in India. The widows and the widowers in India are encouraged not to eat meat, not to eat spicy food. It's because that raises their animal spirits. But when you're widower, they want you to be tame. So you eat vegetables and no spices. Folks, that is the greatest diet of all time. Of course, they didn't say that. No sex, no weight.
Okay.
Folks, up next, we are having a conversation with Sanjeev Bhutani. No relation to me, but he is from New York Life, and he's going to talk about jobs, jobs, jobs. What a way to start the new year. And from both of us, we thank you very much for watching Darshan. We wish you a very happy weekend. Namaste.